Hello, I'm David DeBusk, and I'm coming to you from Texas. Friends, in the latter part of 2018, just 5 years ago, John MacArthur, the pastor of Grace Community Church, was the guest of Ben Shapiro on the Daily Wire, a subscription podcast and video on demand over-the-top streaming service. This interview was significant because it covered an incredibly open and honest discussion between MacArthur, considered to be one of the top Christian theologians of our time, and Shapiro, who is a highly educated and devout Orthodox Jew. Their comments were not so much that of debate, but rather an honest exchange of thoughts pertaining to current issues, including Christian and Jewish beliefs. The following video highlights some profound statements that were made by MacArthur. Every Christian and defender of truth needs to hear this. It's my hope and my prayer that you will share this with your family and with your friends.
When persecution of free speech comes, it always comes against the people who have the religious absolutes. Always. Because that's what threatens people's freedom to sin. So we're always going to be the culprits. At that point, we become dissenters because we continue to preach the truth no matter what the price. The whole purpose of the Christian message is to confront the sinner's sin so you can call the sinner to repentance and forgiveness. The sinner doesn't like that. We had a question on the little questionnaire that your people sent me. It said, do you feel like you might be offending Democrats with some of the things you say? And my response to that is, look, my goal is to offend everyone. That is my initial goal. So I offend people all the time because that's necessary. If you try to develop a kind of Christianity that's inoffensive, it's not Christianity. It's very popular in Christianity today to say the Old Testament is interpreted by the New Testament. That's not true. Because if that's the case, then nobody in the Old Testament had any idea what was going on, right? Then you've got it. That's not revelation. That's obfuscation. Well, that's just a pile of riddles. Other people say, well, you have to superimpose Christ, a Christological hermeneutic, over every part of the Old Testament. That's not true either. There's authorial intent. I think what Jesus did in the Sermon on the Mount was elevate the teaching of the rabbis. Elevate it. He went above them. He said, well, you've been told you shouldn't commit adultery. I'm telling you, if you look at a woman to lust after her, you've committed adultery in your heart. He got to the heart of the law. They were content with the practical application of the law. He was not content with that. So I would say that Jesus was the purest Jew that ever lived because he understood the elevation of the law to the heart and the soul. It would be a monstrous responsibility for some committee to have invented Jesus. When you hear even the people in his time saying, never a man spoke like this man, that he is a person that doesn't seem to have been a product of human invention.
Folks, let me just say in closing that if your pastor does not offend you from time to time, or challenge you, or motivate you to walk rightly before God, then you need to get a new pastor or a new church.